getting in it today. Hello, active and attractive community. How are you guys feeling today? We are going to be talking about, I think, probably people's favorite topic, which is money. And we're going to correlate this conversation around financial health, financial provision, and feeling like you're able to receive as a woman in leadership, and see and notice how this correlates with our relationship with food. This is not something I've ever heard talk about. If you've heard it before, I'd love to hear it down below. What are some takeaways you've heard around how our eating patterns connect in with our financial patterns? This is a really big one, and I'm really excited to dive in with you today. So if you're here live, let me know that you're here on the live. If you're catching the replay, always hashtag active and attractive. Let me know that you are here and what comes up for you when you hear the word finances, money, and provision. All right, guys. So today this conversation is stimulated by a question asked by Kim here inside of our community around financial health and how this partners with nutritional health. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about this, there's a lot of things that you can learn from your relationship with anything in your health, whether it's exercise, food, rest, sex, the way that you navigate your patterns and consistency, going the distance, pushing in your business, falling off when things get intense. There's a lot of things that we can correlate in our health and finding out how we do things and look at how this shows up for us in our business, in our relationships, and the way that we build our lifestyle. My number one intention for us inside of this community is to make sure that as we're building vision, because we're world builders, we're out here wanting to see things that are not yet built and create those things so that the people around us, including ourselves, all get to reap the benefits. Kim, you know all about this. I'm so happy you asked this question, my friend. I'm really excited to dive into this because I think it's important to remember that as we're pursuing greatness on the earth, we need to recognize it's important that we receive what it is that we need in order to build the big things. So resources are necessary. Money is necessary. Love is necessary. Time is necessary. Energy is necessary. All of the things that are required in order to create the vision you are called to build are necessary. And the way that this comes in is based on what is it that you're trying to build. Now, most of us do not have clarity around what it is that we're doing. I know that you guys here, those of you guys who've been following me for the last few months, as we've been building this identity around being a world builder, leaning into our feminine leadership, stepping up into our health so that we can amplify the greatness that's built within you. If you've been sticking around in this conversation, you know that we can only take action based on your knowledge of who you are and what you're bringing to the table. So the first step in deciding what is it that you're doing? What is it that you need to be provided for? What is it that you are expecting to have provision around? First comes from, what are you building? I'm going to bring this conversation around full circle, so stick with me, but I'm going to ask you ladies a question. In your business, in your personal life, in your world, what are some of the current things that you are trying to build into the earth? Yolanda's here. Hello, my friend. You guys are making it live. I love this. What is it that you guys are working on? It might be a character trait that you're trying to create, you're trying to develop and master. It might be a business idea that you're currently trying to pull the team, the resources, the finances to build and make possible to live in today. Some of you guys might be trying to build love into your life. Maybe you want a romantic relationship or you want a deeper connection with your children. What are the things right now that the visionary in you, the leader in you is building towards? I'd love to hear. Let's see. I'm not sure if I see comments yet, but what are you guys working towards? This is going to be a full circle conversation. I'm going to bring this back around to nutrition and financial provision. So let me know, what are you guys building towards? Right now, the thing that I'm building towards is actually the app that you guys have been hearing me talk about, our membership space, where I'm wanting to build a place where we can practically apply what we're talking about here. So we know that identity is important, but we also want to take action on the health piece, the part that brings us into light, the part that accentuates our essence. When we take health and apply it to our bodies, what we're doing is we're ultimately expanding who we are so that we're more visible to people. And so as a coach, is this being my mission, as a person that is leading this message, my big vision is to create a space for us to do this practically, to do it together. And so my membership space is built within an app where women are coming inside and starting to do things like walking, exercising. We're going to be talking about nutrition and fasting very soon. I want to apply these things practically together so that we can not only talk about this, but we see a transformation. So this is the big vision that I'm building towards right now. And every action, my time, my love, my energy, my attention, and my money is all funneling towards this venture. I want to hear for you ladies. What are you working on right now? What matters to you? What direction are you going? I'm going to pull this up just in case you are commenting, because I would love to hear. Yes, of course you are commenting. Let me see what you guys are saying here on my computer. Bom dia. I'm so happy you're here, Kim. Kim says yes, and Yolanda says good morning. Good morning, my friend. What are you guys building right now? What's your thing? All right, Kim's got an answer here. Commenting. All right, Kim says, I am developing my consulting firm. My girl. Firm? You didn't say business. You said firm. That sounds like a lot of people and a lot of responsibility. But what's powerful about you knowing this is you're not afraid of your vision. You know what you're building, and we are building you up as a leader to be healthy, to be strong, to be mentally clear, to have a great relationship with all of her resources, faculties, and abilities so that you can take action on building this beautiful thing. I know you're not just going to build one more consulting firm. You're going to build something very unique, and it's going to embody a culture and an essence that people are going to resonate with. It's going to create a lot of transformation for people. You're also building an online business coaching program for women. I see that you wrote a 3. I'm curious if there's something else. But what I love about this is that, Kim, you are angled. Your leader, the leader in you, is building things that are not yet here. This looks to me like you have a heart for the feminine spirit. You know that you have a teaching ability. You also have a consulting ability, which is different, meaning you know how to implement practices and processes that women or business owners can step into and develop themselves as a result. So what's really cool about this is where you're going. This is where your actions and your resources are funneling towards. So I would love to hear, Yolanda, if you're still here, if you're able or willing, I'd love to hear what it is that you're building. Ooh, and a shop for selling flowers and aromatic plants. Rosemary, jump in on this conversation, girl. I see you're here. Welcome, welcome. So Kim, I just feel so much dynamic. You've got so many dynamic layers to you. And what's cool is this just makes you a social entrepreneur. You're a serial entrepreneur. You've got a lot of gifts. You've got a lot of abilities, and it requires finances in order to build that. Rosemary, to answer or to let you know what we're talking about right now, I'm asking, what are the current things that you are working on, that you're building towards? What vision are you trying to build towards in your life, in your business, and in your relationships? Good morning. What is the question? So with that question, as you ladies answer, the reason we're talking about this is because in order for us to understand the value of financial provision, we have to know what it is that we're aiming towards. Why do we want the money in the first place? Why do we want the money in the first place? So what are you ladies building? It might be love. It might be something more service-based, but what is it that the leader in you is working on right now? All right. So in order to tap into provision, ladies, this is where we're going to go a little bit off into out of the practical and a little bit more into the energetics. When you know what it is that you want, what you're saying is, in order for me to have what it is that I want, I need to be provided with the tools and the materials to build. If I know what it is that I want, it is required that I have tools and resources in order to build the vision. Tell me down below if you believe this is true. Because in order to feel worthy, in order to feel like you deserve, this is the first step in order to allow not only financial provision to find you, but nutritional provision to find you as well. How many of you believe that if you've got a vision for your business, you've got a vision for your family, you've got a vision for your body, it is a must that you receive the resources that are required in order for you to build? Let me know down below in the comments. Rosemary says legacy would be what we are building for both relationships and business. I love that. I love that. And I would love to hear even more, Rosemary, like, what does legacy look like for you? Legacy in connection? Are you wanting to leave a legacy in communication? Leave a legacy in family? Leave a legacy in idea creation? What's that legacy? I'd love to just know personally. Kim says, yes, I have already the blueprints and I need the tools and resources. Now, ladies, we step into a powerful place when you not only claim what it is that you want, meaning you know what you're about to build, but you're able to say, this is what I need. This is what's required in order for me to build. There's a certain level of authority. There's a certain level of almost entitlement, obligation, or intentionality that's necessary for us as women to muster up the courage to say, I need these resources in order to build that vision. The equivalent of this would be to say, hey, I'm going to build a house. It's going to be the most beautiful house. It's going to house my family. It's going to house my loved ones. My friends will be able to come over, and I just need to build this thing brick by brick. That's the vision. The next step in knowing what it is that you want and why you want it is then being able to say, in order for me to build the house, I need 1,000 bricks. I need cement. I need wood. What else do we need for a house? I need roofing slats. I need window panes. I need door frames. I need things in order to build this house. Physically, I cannot build the house without the resources. It sounds so simple, but the truth is a lot of us are trying to build our big vision, our visions of being on stage, our vision of having fat bank accounts, our vision of falling romantically in love. And what we don't let ourselves say is that I need resources in order to do that. Let me know down below if you resonate with this. Kim says, I'm working on the structure that I need for each business. I saw your live about it. For online business, it's done. I just need finances to implement. So Kim, this is where we're going into the energetics, because my question to you is, what is your comfortability when you say, I need finances? What's the feeling in your body when you say that? How frequently do you say that? I need finances. I need them. They're required. If I'm going to start an online business, I need to pay for this software. I need to pay for this platform. I need to pay for this service. I need to hire this team member. I need finances in order to do that. That's the exchange. How comfortable are you, ladies, with saying, I need money? Let me know, because this is a very vulnerable moment. But it's this one vulnerable moment that makes or breaks whether or not you are allowed to make finances for yourself or not. When we allow ourselves to make money, to receive money, allow money to come in, it's no different than you saying, I require healthy food to come into my body in order to produce enough energy to get this thing done. I need to have the type of nutrients in my body that produces more health, more vibrancy, more energy. It's required in order for me to build from a place that feels good for me. Provision, ladies, is what do you allow yourself to have when you know you need it? It's kind of sticky, isn't it? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And Kim says, I'm very comfortable with that. I just asked my dad for some money to buy something and he just gave it to me. That's healthy finances. That is all you need in order to build the world, ladies, is the ability to say, I can ask for it. I'm comfortable with it. I'm safe with it. It's okay. There are still things to this day where I can ask for money for this, but I can't ask for money for that. I can ask for money to do something small, but to ask for money to do something big, it's like, am I worthy of that? Am I allowed to want that? Am I allowed to do that? Where do you feel your rub? Gloria, the blueprints of limitlessness, this is what it looks like. When you have health and finances, ladies, this is what makes you unstoppable. Because it's not about the tangible dollar. It has nothing to do with the physical money. What it's saying is, are you allowing the resources of God, of the universe, of your surroundings to help you build what it is that you know you're called to build? Or do you settle or allow less than, which causes you to then produce less than what your vision looks like? It gets weird because it all boils down to, are you able to feel worthy enough of the thing that you're trying to build? My number one intention for us, ladies, in our journey with health and health in all areas and your ability to build and lead and be the visionary that you're called to be, is we actually want to take you out of this. When we can take you out of this equation and recognize, oh wait, I need money to hand to the contractor. I need money to hand to my business partner. I need money to hand to my landlord. It's not me. It's in order to facilitate the transition or the transaction that helps build the vision. This has nothing to do with me. For me, this is when everything changed. Because so often we make our financial state, we make our bank account, we make the things that we think are worthy or not worthy, we make it mean something about our identity. But ladies, your identity is the gifts that you have to bring to the world. You are already worthy. You've been born worthy. Your financial health is actually, it shouldn't be a gauge on you and what you are and not able to do. Your financial health should be, do you allow money to come into your hands, take it, and migrate it, move it into what the vision is meant to be? Health and finances, it's a transfer. And do you trust yourself to give the money that you receive to the thing that you know you're building? It's come up a lot in my world recently where I've been talking to people about they don't trust money to come to them because they don't believe they're actually going to hand the money to the right thing. They're going to go buy clothes instead of feed the vision. They're going to go spend money on a binge somewhere else and not feed the vision. They're going to take the lump sum of money and just hand it out to everybody else, and there's nothing left for them. There's not a trust in your execution ability. And therefore, we stop the receiving. The same thing happens with food. We consume food not trusting that either we have the self-control or we forget what it is that we're building in our body. When you forget that you're working on weight loss, strength training, more energy, so that you can become the leader that you see yourself as, then we allow whatever that's less than what we really want, and we end up reaping the benefits or the pain of that. Provision is your ability to allow the resources of what you want to come into your life and trust that you can steward it to the vision that you have for yourself. But the only way you know what to give your money to, what to put your food into, why to choose the food that's best for you, is when you know what it is that you're building. What is it that you're building? Kim says, my mother gave me a land to sell, so I called my friend today and asked her to find someone to help me with that. I had just came back from my walking. Do you see how this works? I love fitness and how it just seems to partner. I don't know if I'm making it up, but it seems to partner. When we take care of ourselves, things like this begin to happen. Things like this begin to happen. I just came back. I love that for you, Kim. Ladies, food is an uncomfortable conversation. This is why I think most women say they want to build a better relationship with their food, because what you're saying is, I want to feel worthy of more. I want to feel worthy of more. But when we sit together and we do the 3 days of world building and we build out your world, there's nothing more than that. There's nothing more than that. What you see in your world is all of you. And there might be more to discover, but we can't grow you anymore. All we can do is steward you, build you, take care of you, love you, support you, give to you, not to become more, but to become exactly who you are and feel fulfilled in that essence. The more is actually the things that we're building outside of your world, into the world. So if we already have built your world, if you guys have been walking with me and we've already built your world, your only responsibility is to make sure you are stewarding and nurturing your world. And if you want to experience more in your external world, if you want to have more money in your bank account, if you want to see more opportunities come to you, if you want to have the business that's making the money and reaching the people, this is all external. And so when you're trying to decipher, how can I feel more worthy? It's to love the world you already have. The second bit is outside of you. What are you trying to build? What are you, the internal world, trying to build into the external world? That's the question. The second you take you out of it and you realize, I am here as a world builder to build this environment so that others can experience greatness. I can live in a world that I get to experience the same greatness. We all get to thrive and grow together. When we externalize what it is that we're trying to build, it is not about us. So when we start asking the questions of, how can I make more money? It's not for you. It's to build the visions. Build the God calling that's inside of you. Build for the people around you that you love so much and you feel called to serve. So, I don't think Carolina's in the group, Rosemary, but the fact that you invited her makes me light all the way up. If you want to invite her into the group, I would love that. And hopefully she can get a whiff of this conversation, because guys, I have a whole bunch more to talk to you around money. I'm not even going to say everything. I've got a whole lot more to talk to you about money. Money is a very big thing, but like we're saying, it correlates with your relationship with food. And all it boils down to is, do you feel worthy? Do you feel worthy, and do you know what your purpose is? Meaning, do you know what you're supposed to be building right now? If you know those two things, everything should be like, gimme, I need it. I need it because my energy's low. I need it because I need to rest. I need it because I need to build. I need it because it's not a question of, well, I don't know. It's not that. It's, I'm so serious because I know who I am. I know the gifts I bring. I know what it is that I'm supposed to do. If I eat this food, it's going to slow me down. If I eat this food, it's going to make me feel dense. If I eat this food, it's going to weigh me down. If I eat this food, it's going to take me away from the vision I have for my body. When we're playing in that game, it's not a lot of emotion left. And we get to set aside emotional eating as just an emotional moment. It has nothing to do with you don't have control or you're not able to monitor your food. You are. But there's some other emotion that's outside of you that's trying to teach you something completely different. Ladies, all emotional eating is, or if maybe you do financial binging and you find yourself spending whenever you're feeling anxious, it has nothing to do with your lack of ability. It's just something inside that hasn't been dealt with yet. It's not your worthiness, it's your humanness. And your human is asking for a little attention. The second you get to the bottom of whatever that emotion is, you realize, oh, I can eat whenever I say I want to eat. I can eat whatever it is that I want to eat. I can spend on what it is that I need to spend. I trust myself when the dollars are in my hands. When you get to that place, you realize emotions and your actions are two separate things. And you don't have to doubt yourself on the actions. You get to say, what are these emotions that I'm experiencing that are building up, that are causing me to do actions that are out of alignment? So Kim says, come on, scroll down now. There we go. Kim says food. There's a South African store here in Maputo. It's called Woolworth. Their products are amazing and so fresh and expensive, but it is worth it. So I love to buy from them because I feel like a queen and I am worthy of best food. Guess what? I realize that I always have money to buy food at Woolworth. Kim, I don't know if you got much more to go on this financial health. I think you got it, friend. I think you got it. That's the mindset. That's the feeling. That's the vibe. If you're not there yet, there are things to work up towards. But ultimately, it's what do you feel like you're allowed to have? Now, the other part I want to speak to is if you want to swing from a feeling of scarcity, a feeling of impulsiveness, a feeling of overwhelm when it comes to food and money, all we're really looking to do is to say, hey, I want to slowly walk myself into the version of me that's eating well, that feels worthy and knows how to spend money in a way that I trust. This gets to be a slow process, no different than you deciding to follow a strength training program. What I love to recommend for people who maybe have a little bit of anxiety, nervousness around food and trying to invest in food. Let's say, for example, that's you. Rather than deciding you're going to do a whole overhaul on your diet, or you're going to spend hundreds of dollars at the grocery store buying the best of the best of the best, I would recommend just deciding, okay, just for dinner, I'm going to include vegetables because I can feel that my body is missing nutrients. I could just feel it. I feel lethargic. I feel tired. I'm going to bring water into my diet because I could just feel I'm dehydrated and I need it because I'm worth it. I'm worth it. And when I drink the water, when I drink the vegetables, when I buy the expensive foods, I do feel better. Me feeling better is the healthiest I'm ever going to be. And if something makes me feel better, If something makes you feel better, guess what it's going to do to your bank account? You're going to be more open, more clear-minded, more optimistic, more energetic, more excited, and more eager. Which when you combine all those things, you're going to be more ready to take action. In business, which is a money producer, when you decide to step into business, when you feel good, this is why it's all worth investing in. When you feel good, you are going to be able to produce multiplied amounts of the current income you have. The investment into you, it makes you more money. The investment into you puts you in a position where you're like, more please. The investment into you means more rest and peace in your mind and in your heart, which means you're more patient, more loving, more soft, more sensitive for your relationships, for your children, for your clients, for your business. When you are more patient and at peace, people can sort themselves out around you and decide to rise to your peace and eventually meet you there. Ladies, how do you see you feeling good through food bringing you more money? I'd love to hear this narrative. How do you see you taking more care, more intentionality, and finally finding that feeling of feel good through food? How do you see that path bringing you more income? I'd love to hear. Kim says, thanks to your teaching, and I can see that I have that, and I want to build my world. Oh, Kim, I love that so much. We're going to go into identity again next month, so we're going to bring all of this back around to world building. So I'm really excited for that. I am worthy, and I know that I'm worthy. How do you guys see it? What do you see for yourself from where you're standing? I'm not asking you to make up a future version of yourself. From where you're standing today, you might be in a hot mess, you might be at a decent place, or you might be actually at a really good place. And how can the idea of you feeling good through food bring you more money? If that's hard to imagine, because a lot of times we have a difficulty in identifying what we want. Sometimes we identify more so with what we don't want. I want to ask you, if you were to not feel bloated, if you were to not feel tired, if you were to not feel brain fog, anxiety, gently depressed, or guilted because you know you could be feeling better, if you were able to rid yourself of those things through food, how do you feel like that would allow you to show up in your business and in other means of making money? I'd love to hear this. Let's see where we're at. Rosemary says, I don't have too much feedback because it's new information for me. That is great. So I definitely need to rewatch when I'm more at peace and not running around. Okay, Rosemary, I feel you, girl. I feel you. I love that. But the word I hear is trust is built in with myself, so I make better decisions. Ooh, girl, that's all you needed to say. I got goosebumps. And I want you guys to hear my heart on this. When I'm speaking passionately about something, I'm not going to teach you something that I haven't walked through. So if you hear me getting like about something, it's because I know, because of my story, because of my experiences, because I've had to army crawl through this understanding and application. Rosemary said, this is new information to my mind. That's just the start. We've got to go try it on, put it on, practice it, rip our pants, take the pants off, put another pair of pants back on. We've got to try things on for a set amount of time until it becomes a part of us. So the mountain of embodiment, which I'll comment the video down below, is where I talk about our purpose as female leaders is to walk up the mountain of embodiment and find our way. We can look to other people who have already paved their way up that path, and it can be helpful for us. But we ultimately want to discover, how can we find higher and higher levels of embodying the thing that we want? So Rosemary knows that if she embodied this idea, she would hit a feeling of trust that would allow her to then make better decisions. I know for me, before I really embodied trust for myself, trust that I was going to eat the right foods, trust that I was going to stop when I was full, trust that I wasn't going to binge eat, trust that I would, whenever I really began to trust myself, and it came with a lot of trial and error, lots of trial and error. When I really was able to start trusting myself, that trust transposed itself into how I trusted myself in making decisions in business. Trusting that money and provision was going to provide for me as well as the new foods that I was choosing to eat. When I was clear-minded through food, it allowed me to believe that it's more possible for me to trust myself in reaching for bigger and better things. It also allowed me to trust that God and the universe are going to match me and meet me in the scariest of places. If you guys are traversing as leaders towards big things, some of you are wanting to meet millions of people and help them. Some of you guys are wanting to be vulnerable and put your story in a book. Some of you guys are wanting to build things that do not exist yet. You're going to encounter discomfort. So imagine trying to slay this big dragon and also feeling hungover from the lunch that you had that made you feel more down. It's putting ourselves in a much more difficult position, won't you say? So the value of looking at food, paying attention to our food, noticing how it correlates with our abilities as leaders, is just recognizing when I eat this, it makes me feel worse. And I can't feel worse. It's not even that I can't, I just don't want to. I want to feel open, alive, excited, happy, ready, eager, fun, free. I want to feel all of these things. And when I feel this way, I know money and resources come to me. Because when I'm in alignment to the desire that has been placed in my heart, God gives. He gives to what it is that He's called me to. So trust is a fantastic word, Rosemary. Kim says, I just started to realize that when I take care of myself, I feel better and happy when I invest in my nutrition. So I can see that I can make money to continue to take more care of myself and others. And I can see that when I do this intentionally, I can unlock new paths. Kim, you've got it. That's it, girl. That's it. That's financial health. This is how financial health connects with nutritional health. And what you're going to start noticing is that when you become more expectant to be provided for, it's going to be difficult to settle for less. This is what we're looking for, is that as you raise your ceiling and try to reach for new heights, the bottom of your foundation is going to begin to rise to meet you. So what you allow is going to be easier to keep. Meaning you're going to have, let's say, for example, I've worked with a lot of clients in binge eating patterns. They've found it very difficult to stop binge eating because they thought they were supposed to stop altogether. But the truth is it's a weaning process. We've got to wean you off. We had to wean them off of this experience because ultimately there was a fear that was about something else entirely different. As they began to wean themselves off, what happened was they did binge eat less. But what it turned into is that when they had a moment where they were just having a good time with drinks or with just a midnight snack, it didn't hit as this huge guilty experience. It ended up being, oh yeah, I had some cookies last night. I didn't really need it, but honestly, I don't know. And how it felt for them was it wasn't a binge eating. It wasn't a bad thing or a guilt trip. It was actually just an event that happened. And I didn't really like how I feel. I'm not going to do that again next time. It changes when you know what you're working towards, when you know how something makes you feel. When you decide that you want to feel better, there's a process in order to keeping that. But once you get there, it's so much easier to hold because there's no guilt or shame associated. Ladies, when you get to a place where you're fully in financial health, and maybe right now your issue is impulse buying or tossing money to random things and you don't feel like you trust yourself, I'm here to tell you, when you get to a true place of financial health, your entire mission is to spend your money. When you really stand up as a leader with healthy financial stature, money is supposed to leave your hands. A good steward allows money to leave because she trusts that more money is going to come in and be received. When your money is leaving your hands, girls, I'm telling you, this means that you are building something great. And when you feel safe letting more money leave your hands, it's going to feel as if you feel more safe that more money is going to come into your hands. The same thing is going to be true when you hit yourself or meet yourself with healthy nutritional relationship. Is when you're really fully in true nutritional health, you're eating at least 2,000 calories minimum a day. You're eating healthy foods that actually accentuate your energy, your gut, your body. And you're going to find that when you binge a little bit or you go off your path and you have a cookie or you have something that you don't normally have, it actually doesn't affect you, and you did it and it felt more like joy than pain. The version of you that has full trust in both money and food, it's going to feel like this ebb and flow. And that is what provision is. It's because when you are given something, it is expected that you give something back. We are not hoarding. We are not collecting and holding on to. We're actually women who receive. And then when it's our turn to give, we give then. So it's always circulating and it's always flowing. And the same thing is true with nutrition. So I want you to expect good things for you. If you hear me and you understand, but you don't know how to move it yet, just hang in there. This is going to be a process. We're going to try to massage this as we go. If you want support in this, if you want more direct, consistent support in this, I highly recommend you guys come into the Women of Active and Attractive. Santanja's here. Hello, my friend. We're gonna be doing this together inside of the membership space, where we're gonna be talking about nutrition, fasting, exercise, and food. Nutrition, exercise, fasting, and mobility. We're going to be talking about all these different caveats, because the journey from mastering your nutrition to you really, or from not mastering your nutrition to fully feeling safe and comfortable with food, it's a process. It really is a journey. But I want you to think of it through the lens of, I know what it is that I want, and I deserve to have the resources in order to build that. That's ultimately all that food is. It's energy. So when you think about this, I want you to know that the process is direct, but the journey is going to feel a little ebb and flowy. So if you want support on that flow, please come into the Women of ANA. We're going to be doing we're doing a special or pre-sale right now where it's $77 for the next year. Guys, I'm so excited that we're doing this price because I'm seeing women just flood in. You guys are coming in, and everyone right now, we're focused on walking and creating consistency in our habits. So as we're developing these patterns together, we're going to end up seeing who you become as a leader. When we introduce the food, we're going to talk a lot about energetic eating, something I call energetic eating, which is eating for the purpose of energy. When we release the emotional attachment to food, but we still let ourselves enjoy it, we end up seeing that all food is it's a supply of energy that's supposed to provide your body what it needs so it can boost up, take care of itself, and move forward and really enjoy and allow you the opportunity to enjoy your life and all of the things that are in front of you. So we've got a lot coming into the membership space. If you want to join us, the $77 for the year is going to go away at the end of the month, and we're going to move it up to $77 a month. So if you're interested, or you know somebody that would be interested in this experience, then come send them my way, or if it's you, come join us. We'd love to have you in there. So Kim says ASAP. Okay. Santanja says hello. I'm so happy, guys. So this is just skimming the surface of our themes around money. We're going to talk about money much later in the year. We've got a lot more to cover before then. But the idea is that in order for you to stand tall in your essence as a leader, the one that knows her identity. We've got to take care of you. This is what health is. Health is you doing things that accentuate your ability to be seen and to be heard so that you can create impact. So we want to take care of your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, all things that make up you so that you can be accentuated and seen and experienced by others. The moment that you're experienced by others, your story, your process, your attention to detail, your love, it creates an impact in other people. It unlocks them and opens them up to the next best version of themselves. Rosemary says, I already got my 72. We did have a good conversation, girl. I just love that space so much, and I love you. We're really working on making sure that you are taking care of your health for the purpose of your impact. So as we talk about this, we're always going to be correlating. What does this make you as a leader? How can you step up? How is this going to refine your character? What in your vision in your life are you trying to achieve? And how can we use health to teach you or showcase to you elements of you that you haven't seen? Or how can we use health to leverage and make you better overall? So with that being said, oh, you guys have got some stuff. Let me see. Oh, wait, no. We're good. I got you. So with that being said, ladies, if you guys have any questions, like I said, the Women of A&A is $77 for the entire year, through to next February. And we're going to be covering all types of things. When it comes to fasting, I've got a whole paradigm that opens up when we talk about fasting. If you're looking at weight loss, we've got things there. For those of you guys who end up, you're so welcome, Kim. For those of you guys who wait in March, I'm excited to share. Hello, Tina. I'm excited to share that we are going to be doing a really cool thing with your monthly payment in regards to future and upcoming programs. So if you feel the pressure and you're not sure if $77 for the year is right for you right now, I do want you to know that the investment you'll make is going to come back for you in other great ways. So you're not going to lose. I just want you guys to feel very safe with your investment. So with that being said, we're growing, we're doing incredible things, all in the honor of your health so you can provide more as the powerful leader that you are. And I really look forward to seeing you guys. Hey girl, I really look forward to seeing you guys here next week as we dive into the last part of the year. Of the month. So we're going to continue our conversation on health. If you have any questions that you want me to riff on or talk about in regards to health, please go into the featured section at the top. There's a tab that says ask questions. Just comment your questions down below in the comments section, and I'll use that as the next prompt for our next live. So with that being said, ladies, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Like I said, if you know anybody that needs to hear this message, just like Rosemary, invite your friends in, and we'll have this conversation so we can all move together. All right, ladies, I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Here's to becoming more active and attractive. We'll talk soon. Bye.